Mm.
Hi, and welcome back to Self-Made Success TV. I'm your host, April Iannazzone, and founder of the Self-Made Success School. Today we have Maria Saracen with us. Maria is an Emmy-nominated television producer who was bitten by the entrepreneurial bug at a very young age. After working in the news, advertising, and for PBS, she became a health coach and fell in love with the nuts and bolts of growing an online business. Today, she helps other coaches and solopreneurs create beautiful, profit-generating websites and email lists of thousands of subscribers. And I'm so excited that you are here with us today because we are going to be talking about lead generation. So welcome, Maria.
Thank you so much, April. I'm honored to be invited. Thanks for having me.
No problem. So the number one thing in business is to have people that want to buy or purchase your services, your products. You need people to pay you to have a business. And how does that all start? But with lead generation. So
exactly.
I wanted you to be on today's show because you have one of the newest ways. Actually, it's really not that new, but it's catching on quite rapidly now. And I know some of our audience has not even heard of it. So I wanted you to share the number one thing that's working best for you right now to generate new leads in your business.
Okay, fantastic. And I love that you say right now because it does change from time to time, but absolutely. So my number one love right now is giveaways. I'm like married to them. That's what I do all the time.
She's committed.
Yeah, I'm committed. Exactly. And the reason I love them so much is because I have tried so many other methods. And, we're all different and different things work for each of us. But what I love about giveaways is that they're perfect for beginners. And a lot of methods are either slow when you're just starting out, or they can be a little bit too advanced for beginners and it can be overwhelming. And when I first started my health coaching business several years ago, I was writing blog posts until they were coming out of my ears and like guest posting. I created videos for about.com, which got tens and even hundreds of thousands of views. But still, it was just kind of trickling in those leads, those subscribers. And eventually I ran a summit, which I love summits. I think they're a ton of fun. Just so much fun to interview people and all that good stuff. But they can be quite a learning curve.
Yes.
And I jumped in with both feet at the time. This was probably 4 years ago. I had nobody telling me what to do. So if I did them again today, I would probably invest in a course or at least get someone to lead me through the process. But 4 years ago, I just dived in feet first. And that was a fantastic experience. And I got about 800 subscribers on my list. But I was rather disappointed because I was hoping for a lot
of
more.
Work for 800 subscribers.
Yeah, exactly.
And actually, I'm glad you brought up the summits. That's one of the things that we do teach in the Self-Made Success School for lead generation. But it's not something you could really do on your own because you don't get the turnout. But if done right, you can get thousands and thousands.
Exactly. And the beauty with summits as well is then you get to repackage and you have something to sell. So that's definitely, a wonderful thing about summits. But after going through that whole experience and kind of spinning my wheels and going, how do I get like massive leads? How do I get a big audience that I can market to and feel like I really have a business here? I stumbled on a giveaway, the concept of a giveaway, and I had never heard of it. I just got invited to subscribe to one. And as soon as I understood how it worked and the concept, it was like, the heavens parted and angels sang. And I was like, I have to. Exactly. I was like, I have to do one of these. And again, I had nobody actually showing me how to do it. So I've done quite a few over the years. And I've also made some mistakes over the years, which I've learned from. But it was a case of jumping in feet first. But my first giveaway, the results were 2,000 subscribers as opposed to 800 with a lot less work.
Yeah.
And so it was pretty powerful. And then the giveaway I just ran a couple months ago, I had, I think it was 18 fantastic contributors, just the most wonderful people. And that resulted in 3,300, over 3,300 subscribers in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
So those kind of results for someone who's as impatient as I am are pretty exciting.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So, what are the 5 reasons giveaways are so powerful for list building? What are the 5 reasons why you feel giveaways are so powerful?
So powerful. Okay, fantastic. So the first reason, and actually, let me explain very quickly what a giveaway is, just in case anyone listening
Thank you.
hasn't
Absolutely.
encountered one. Yeah. So, the typical giveaway that people are aware of is where you're giving away a bundle of books or toasters or cloth diapers or whatever the case may be. And this is not what I'm referring to in this instance. What I'm referring to is this big old online party that you throw and you invite contributors from from your niche that you respect and admire and that you want to work with. And they're generally not direct competitors of yours, but they're serving the same audience and they all have something valuable to give your audience.
And they
So that
complement what you do for the most part.
Exactly, exactly. And I also try to make sure that my contributors aren't in competition with each other also. So not just me, but also each other. So it's a win-win for everyone, lots of exposure. So basically, the first reason I just love giveaways is because they're perfect for beginners, which I think I mentioned earlier. A lot of techniques are not necessarily perfect for beginners, but this is something very powerful that will grow your list hugely, and you can start with a list of 0. And a lot of people don't believe me when I say that, or they're kind of like, huh? How does that work? If I have a list of 0, how am I going to create this giveaway and attract quality contributors and then grow my list hugely right off the bat? And the thing is, as the organizer, your role is to create the best online party you possibly can. That is your value. You do not have to have a big list. And I actually, when I started mariasaracen.com, my current business, because I used to be a health coach, when I changed streams, or horses rather, I didn't have a list in that niche. I started off with 0. And so very quickly, I've grown my audience using giveaways. And it's obviously a snowball effect. Only for your first one do you not have a sizable list. But once you've run your first one, then you do have a good sized list to offer. But it's really the value is in the party that you throw, how well you throw it, and who you invite to collaborate in this party. So that's why it's fantastic for beginners. And it's also great if you just want to hugely grow your subscriber list as well, if you've been around for a while.
And it's going to be, I'm sorry to interrupt you,
No,
but it's going to be
no.
very important because I know this is some of the things that my clients run into when we're doing the summit, that they want to just invite anybody because they think that they're cool to be a part of their summit. They
Yeah.
have to have your target, the same exact target market that you're going after. So yes, you have a great list, but you want to make sure that list is people that you could eventually sell your products or services to.
Exactly. That is so important. Yeah, I'm glad you brought that up. So, and now the second reason is that giveaways cost practically nothing to run. I don't know, how it compares to a summit. When I ran my summit, I know it cost me quite a bit of money. However, that was many years ago, and things change, new tools come up, so it might not be that expensive. But with the giveaway, I say that you can do it for under $100 very easily.
Wow.
And yes, seriously. And my last giveaway cost me $23 to run. Okay. So it was my time, but the $23 was for the WP Engine hosting. That was it. Everything else was part of my business already, the email subscription service, all of that good stuff. So it was $23. And so when you divide $23 by 3,350 subscribers, that's a pretty good return on investment. The next reason number 3, is you get to meet and collaborate with some amazing people in your niche. And I know you're out there and you're interviewing people and you're doing a lot, but many of us who are running online businesses, can get kind of lost behind our computers and not get out there and engage. It's so easy to kind of become a recluse, or maybe I'm just speaking for myself, but that's what I found. And I really miss that connection. I crave the connection with other people, especially people who I admire. And so running something like a giveaway or a summit forces you to get out there, to meet people, to form these fantastic partnerships. And they're partnerships that just keep on giving. In my experience, I do a giveaway with a group of people, and then there's so many other ways that we can connect after that giveaway.
Yeah, and once they show that you actually, and a giveaway is a collaborative event, everybody's promoting to get to it. But once they see that, hey, I'm having, a few hundred opt-ins and I'm just a contributor here, I'm not the host, Maria really is onto something good, and then you are being looked at to them as a leader as well. So they want to have a JV or a joint ventureship with you, or become an affiliate of something, or, maybe interview you on their show. So definitely the collaboration is huge, especially once they see that what you're doing is getting results.
Exactly. That's so true. And speaking of the contributors, this particular giveaway, they were ecstatic. I mean, I kept getting texts and emails on a daily basis, and it wasn't just a few hundred subscribers. Some of them were getting 1,000 subscribers or over 1,000 subscribers. They could not believe the power of a giveaway, and so that really thrilled me as well. And then the other factor, which kind of goes hand in hand with the collaboration, is you also get instant expert authority, because even if you're just starting out, if you run a really good event and people experience it as subscribers and experience it as contributors, they take you seriously. They're like, okay, this person must know her stuff, even if they don't. And, so I've gotten lots of invitations to be part of things thanks to the exposure I got from running
Absolutely.
the giveaway. Yeah, yeah. And then the last reason is, something I've already mentioned, is that they can produce huge results very quickly. So if you're impatient, if you want to, and let me back up a bit, because it wouldn't be accurate for me to say you can get, thousands of subscribers in 2 weeks, because it takes more than 2 weeks to organize the giveaway. However, my first giveaway I organized in a month. That's not what I actually teach my students to do, because it's a little bit crazy to do it in a month. But I think if you give yourself 3 months to organize a giveaway, which is plenty of time without stressing yourself out or going crazy, you can get big results within 3 months. Whereas in my experience with blogging and creating videos and all those things that kind of take a long time to get traction, it was taking me years.
So would you say that the majority of the time in those 3 months is really researching and getting people to agree and want to be a part of the summit, the contributors? I know in this, as far as telesummits go, that is really the majority of the time, is finding the right people and getting them to sign the contract and turn it in, and all of that stuff.
Exactly. So yes, 100%. And the good part, though, is that if you're doing it over 3 months, I would say the first month is more the research, or even the 2 weeks, I would say, is researching the right contributors and inviting them, maybe 3 weeks at a stretch. By the end of that first month, you should have everybody lined up who's going to be joining you. And then you just need to make sure they're delivering what you need by the deadlines. So, and sometimes it can be like herding cats, I have to be honest. But what I found as I have created so many giveaways is that the more I explain to them, so I teach my students to set up their website and to have very special contributor portions of their website where they explain everything. And, no detail is left unmentioned, so that nobody is confused. I also advise giving not only like written instructions, but in terms of showing them what materials to provide, I like to give actual like visual graphics. So that some people, they're different, they have different styles of learning and absorbing information. So that definitely helps. And this past giveaway, for the most part, it was very smooth and easy to manage. Yeah.
Wonderful.
But there will always be those last minute stragglers. And yeah, yeah.
That's awesome. For the audience that is thinking to themselves, wow, gift giveaway is an amazing form of lead generation and I want to try it. Are there a few things that you could suggest for them to get started?
Absolutely. So I definitely have some tips. Now, the first thing, and this is something that you mentioned, which is so important, is that you need to know your audience. Actually, hang on. I'm just wondering if that's the second bullet point you mentioned. But anyway, you need to know who your audience is and you need to know what they really want. Okay. So if you're just starting out, this probably wouldn't be the case for someone who's been in business for a while. But if you're a complete newbie to your business, you need to know who you're trying to attract because there's no sense building your list through a giveaway or any other method if you're not attracting the right people. So, you might
It's
need
like
to
going
feel
to a networking event and collecting cards from everybody and saying, hey, I have a list now.
Exactly. And so you put in all that work or effort, and then it's not necessarily the people who you want to serve. So you need to know your audience and what they want. Then, what is very important is you need to have a plan of action for after you've grown this wonderful community, because it's all well and good, again, to have a whole list of email addresses and people you can market to. But if you don't have something of value to offer them, and it doesn't even have to be a paid service, even though eventually that's what you need to get into, unless you're a charity, but it has to be maybe a nurture sequence, which leads to a paid service or a sales funnel or whatever the case is. Because I think it would be a really big waste to grow your list and then just disappear off the face of the earth.
And I love what you just said too, because you're being seen as the expert now as the host of this gift giveaway. But they still need to get to know you, to like you, and trust you before we just hit them with an offer.
Exactly.
And the one thing that's a little bit different with the summit and the giveaway, and I've done a giveaway as well, but the one thing that's a little bit different is they trust you because they hear you throughout the interviews in the summit. With the gift giveaway, you are being seen as the expert, but they're still a little iffy about the trust. So I love that you brought that up, that you have to have that nurture sequence in place. So they're getting a few other emails from you. And they're saying, hey, you know what? She really does know her stuff. And wow, there's a testimonial that somebody else has paid her and had these great results. And oh, by the way, if you want to buy this, it's available.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. And that's such a great distinction because it's 100% true. That with a summit, people are constantly encountering you and your voice. So with a giveaway, if I know you have seen many, I'm sure, and maybe our audience has too, but a lot of people tend to plaster their photos all over the website. I actually don't do that, and it may be a bad thing. That's just not really who I am. Not that I would in any way say that somebody who does it is not doing the right thing. Maybe it's better. But because of that, I have to work extra hard to get people to know me. And one thing I did this particular giveaway is I created a welcome video so that at least people could see who I was and know that there was an actual real person behind all of this. And that's a technique many other people use as well, the welcome video and their photos all over the place. So yeah, great points. The next thing is, so this is what you were talking about, finding your contributors. So people in your niche who you respect and admire and have a similar audience. Because like we've already said, there's just no point in going after people you love and admire, but, have nothing in common. So, and that can be a challenge. The way I recommend that my students figure it out is to do some cyber stalking, right?
You have to.
You have to. So you go online, you sign up for people's opt-in gifts, you find out as much about them as possible. And you really do need to know who you're inviting, because it's kind of like inviting someone to your house. If you don't know who they are and you have other dinner guests, you don't want to have like a situation on your hands. You want to know what everybody's about, what type of people they are, if possible. And I'm very happy to say, knock on wood, that all of my contributors have been amazing, humble, wonderful people, even if they've been incredibly successful. And I'm sure you've discovered this too. Sometimes you think, oh, this person is way above me, they wouldn't be interested, or they must be a bit of a diva or whatever. And then you meet them, and so far so good. I've just met the most wonderful people. So
Absolutely.
I'm lucky about that. But yes, so it's really important to know who they are. And then when you approach them, absolutely do not send like a canned email to everybody that could have been
Yes.
could have been written by anyone and is just totally generic. That is the best way to have nobody reply to you or to get a whole bunch of no answers.
Yeah.
When you email someone, as you know, it has to be personal. You have to show that you know who they are and what they're about and why they are a good fit. And with anything in business, it's not about you, it's about them, and you have to show them what's in it for them.
And that you did research them, you know who they are. And I'm glad you brought that up because that annoys me so much. There's actually a couple services out there, like a virtual assistant service that focuses only on giveaways and only on summits. And I get email, I must be on one of their lists, but I get emails from all of these people that are their clients asking me to be on their summit, but it's the same email coming from all of these other big name people, but same email because it's coming from them.
Oh.
So I know that they're just sending it to everybody.
Yeah.
With that being said, I would not mind if you had the same generic bottom part to the email. And
Yes.
the top is just customized each time. Maria, I went to your website. I love the graphics on there. You know how to do giveaways. I attended one of your giveaways, and let them know your audience. I think you would totally benefit being on my show today, or my audience would benefit from you being on my show today, because this is something that they're all interested in. Would you like to share your giveaway knowledge on my show? Which again,
exactly.
that's why you said yes.
That's why I said yes, exactly.
So
perfect script you just gave everyone.
So it's pretty easy. And then you could just have that generic bottom. Here's what's involved, what I'm going to ask of you.
Totally. And also another tip I give is, so that generic bottom is totally cool. Nothing wrong with that. And I say, don't write an essay. So, get people excited. And then I tell people to send them to a page on their website that they have specially created with all the information. Because if somebody's not interested, they don't want to read this mile-long email. And even if they are interested, it's overwhelming to read all the terms and conditions and the who, what, where, whens. So they go to a web page that is beautifully laid out and explains everything in a very friendly, nice way. And, you mentioned contracts. So I actually have never asked any of my giveaway contributors to sign a contract. Call me crazy.
I'm like, no. Wow.
And maybe that's a no-no, but the thing about giveaways is I kind of use the honor system, and so far it's worked really well. But also there's no money that's being exchanged. There's no profit that I'm making from it. I think with the summit might be a little bit different because you're actually selling content. So you need to be a bit more careful.
Well, I'll tell you, and you can tell me your views on this, but I'll tell you why I feel that you do need a contract on this.
Okay.
Because you want them to mail to their list, right?
Yes.
So you want them to let their list know about this summit. And
Yes.
you're giving them exposure to all of these other people's lists by being on your summit. And if they don't do that mailing and those social media posts, you're giving them all of this free publicity and growing their list when they don't have an agreement saying, I know from doing both things, even people that sign it still don't mail to their list. And you have to do follow-up.
Yeah.
So I always suggest, even if it's a simple contract, always suggest doing some
That
kind
you sign it. Okay.
But you've had good luck, so not
I've had good luck, and I can't say that, everybody has followed through to a T. What I do, and like you just said, sometimes people sign contracts, they still don't follow. I'm not going to sue them. I'm just going to be like, never again.
Yeah.
But what I do is I kind of keep track. So I ask people to let me know when they will be mailing. I'm also on their lists. So I keep an eye on who's doing what. And then if they haven't done it, I just send a friendly nudge email saying, hey, did I miss this? Or is it still coming up? So that's what I do. But like you say, there's still people who might not
Yeah.
do it. And it's a bummer. I mean, it is, but
it is what it is.
it is what it is. Most people are wonderful and do follow through. And I even had somebody doing an extra mailing this time around, and I was like, wow, okay, well, thank you for that.
Awesome.
So I don't know what happened there. But all right, then the other tip I have is to make sure that everyone is on the same page. They need to know exactly what's required of them, including those solo emails. So we have already kind of hashed this out. But yeah, the more explicit you are, the less you leave up to interpretation, chance, and forgetfulness.
Yeah.
So yeah. That, and then lastly, I keep in touch with my contributors through the entire process. So once they send me their materials and everything's good to go, that's not where it ends. It's almost like it amps up again with my communications with them because I'm constantly telling them the stats. I'm giving them feedback from people. Occasionally, I'm emailing them and saying, your link doesn't work. Hurry up and fix it. But that's very rare, and it's usually on day one. But, generally, everyone tests everything. That's what I tell them to do, test everything. Embarrassingly, it was my opt-in gift that had a big snafu this time around. I was so mortified. But yeah, so I just constantly stay in touch with them. It gets them excited, and it just also makes sure that they are emailing when they're supposed to be. And for people who are listening in and don't know the value of that solo email, I have always found that social media is fantastic. It's a wonderful way to promote, but nothing beats a solo email. And by solo, it's that email that is about nothing else except the giveaway. It's not a newsletter, not a, oh, hey, here's what's happening in my life and my products. It's only about the giveaway. And that gets the best engagement. And that's why it's so important.
Absolutely.
So, yeah. So yeah,
Awesome.
and just communicating with contributors and also communicating with subscribers through the whole process as well. Fortunately, I haven't had to do a lot of customer service, like helping people with problems. But out of 3,000 people, actually more than 3,300, I would say maybe I got 10 emails where I had to help people. So that's really not a bad thing.
Not bad at all.
Phew. I've actually gone on vacation during some of my giveaways because once they actually start running, there isn't that much you have to do. So that's the beauty of that. But yeah, and a lot of people ask me, like, do I have a virtual assistant to help me do this? Honestly, it's me, myself, and I. I have never actually had a virtual assistant. At some point in the future, I probably will, but it is 100% doable if you're the only one doing it, so long as you don't have like 50 contributors or, an unmanageable amount. I usually go between 12 to 20 contributors in my giveaways and still have great results.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, Maria, thank you for all of the insight on, especially sharing your last summit story.
Yeah,
can you tell us if the audience wants to get in touch with you, where can they find you?
So they can find me at mariasaracen.com. And I have a gift which explains more about giveaways if they're interested in getting that, learning more. It has the whole, flow diagram and
awesome.
all that good stuff so they can see it in front of them how exactly it works. And yeah, that's where I can be found.
Perfect. And I'll put the link below just so you all can see it. And thank you for being on the show. And to all of you, I hope to see you at Self Made Success Live in June.